Fake friends don't betray you immediately. They stay, they blend in, and they slowly show you who they are in ways that are easy to ignore. At first, everything feels normal. You talk, you laugh, you spend time together. There's no obvious red flag. Nothing you can point at and say, this is wrong. But over time, small things start to feel off. Not strong enough to confront, but strong enough to stay in your mind. And that's how it works. You don't realize it instantly. You realize it gradually, through patterns, through repetition, through moments you almost dismissed. 1. They only show up when it benefits them. It doesn't look selfish at first. It looks like timing. They reach out when they need help. They show up when they need something. They're present when it's convenient. And at the beginning, you don't question it because you assume it's mutual. But watch closely. When you need something, the energy shifts. Replies slow down, conversations feel shorter, effort disappears. And now you're confused because when they needed you, you were available. But when you need them, they're not there in the same way. So you start explaining it. They're just busy. They're going through something. But over time, it becomes consistent. And consistency reveals truth. Not what people say, but what they repeat. A real friend shows up even when there's nothing to gain. A fake one shows up only when there's something to take. 2. They subtly compete with you. This one is quiet, almost invisible. You share something positive, progress, growth, a small win. And instead of feeling supported, something shifts. Not enough to call out, but enough to feel. They respond, but not fully. They acknowledge, but not genuinely. Then slowly, they redirect the moment. They bring up themselves, their situation, their comparison. And now your moment is no longer yours. It's subtle, but it matters. Because support feels light, competition feels heavy. And over time, you start noticing a pattern. You can celebrate them freely, but they struggle to do the same for you. That's not connection. That's comparison. 3. They talk about others to you. At first, it feels like trust. They share things, private things, negative things, and you feel included, like you're someone they can open up to. But here's the part people ignore. If someone is comfortable talking about others like that, they're comfortable talking about you the same way. Because it's not about who they're talking about. It's about how they communicate. And patterns don't change based on the person. They repeat based on behavior. So what feels like closeness is often just access. And once you see that clearly, you stop mistaking information for trust. If you're starting to recognize these patterns, that's not overthinking. That's awareness. Subscribe if you want to understand people before they affect you. 4. They disappear when you're struggling. When everything is good, they're around. Easy conversations, light energy, consistent presence. But when something shifts in your life, so do they. You go through something difficult, and suddenly, they're distant. Not aggressive, not rude, just gone. And that absence says more than anything they've ever said. Because presence during good times is easy. Anyone can do that. But presence during hard times requires intention. And fake friends don't invest where there's no benefit. So when things get heavy, they leave. Quietly. And you're left realizing they were never as present as you thought. 5. They normalize small disrespect. It's never big. That's why it works. A small joke, a slight comment, a moment that feels off. And when you notice it, they minimize it. It's just a joke. You're overthinking it. So you let it go, because it's small. But small things, repeated over time, become patterns. And patterns become standards. Until one day, you realize you've accepted behavior you would have rejected at the start. Not because it changed, but because you adapted to it. And fake friends rely on that adaptation. They don't need to cross big lines. They just slowly move the small ones. 6. You feel different around them. This is the clearest sign, and the hardest to trust, because it doesn't come with evidence, just feeling. You're around them, and something shifts. You think more, speak less, adjust yourself. You're not fully relaxed, not fully natural, and you don't always notice it in the moment, but you feel it after. When you leave, there's a slight relief, a sense of ease, like something just lifted. And that feeling matters, because your mind tries to explain things logically, but your body reacts honestly. And when you consistently feel better away from someone than with them, that's not random. That's information. Fake friends don't reveal themselves through one moment. They reveal themselves through repetition. Not what they say once, but what they do consistently. And most people don't miss it because it's invisible. They miss it because they keep explaining it away. They give the benefit of the doubt, again and again and again, until the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. But by then, they've already invested time, energy, and emotion, and that's why it feels difficult to walk away. Not because it's unclear, but because it's late. So the goal isn't to become cold or stop trusting people. It's to notice patterns earlier, because once you do, you don't have to figure people out later. You understand them sooner, and that changes everything. Have you ever realized someone was a fake friend only after you were already invested?